The Dating Show, brought to you by olderdatingonline.com.
A very good morning to you, Leigh-Ann.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm all good this morning. How are you?
Good. I'm being extra polite, extra courteous to you this morning because we're talking about etiquette, politeness, manners, that type of thing. As a woman, you know, when you're dating, is that important to you?
100%. I've always thought manners make a man. I really do think that. And I think when you go on a date with somebody, you can judge them quite quickly on the way that they treat you. And I think manners, you know, show you a lot about somebody. And I've been on an awful date once.
Tell me the story.
I met a man.
Right.
At a bar, and it was really nice, and we went for a drink, and I actually quite liked him because he had a lovely personality. But then all of a sudden, halfway through our date, he took his gum out of his mouth and stuck it under the table in the bar.
Oh.
And I just got up and I walked out, and I said, no, definitely not for me. I wasn't keen on that.
That's not a good...
No, not a good look.
Thing. No.
No.
Can I just ask you, I mean, how do you approach it, sort of, when you meet... when you say you were going on a first date, how would you expect the man to approach you? Would you expect first date, would you expect a hug? Would you expect him to shake your hand or give you a kiss?
I would definitely expect a hug, because obviously if we've been on a first date, we've had a little bit of rapport at some point. So a hug would be nice, because you obviously know that you're going on a date because you both quite fancy each other. So I just think a hug, maybe not a kiss, just a hug, and definitely not a handshake because it's a little bit cold. I think if you're meeting someone in a work situation, yes, you know, a professional situation, shake their hand, that's polite. But if it's on a date, show a little bit more affection.
Okay, and the whole thing about sort of, you know, should a man hold the door open for a woman? Should he pull a chair out for her if you're going for a meal? Where's your take on that in 2017 as a modern woman?
I'm quite relaxed, actually. I do like somebody to treat me nicely and be polite, but I'm quite happy to pull up my own chair in a pizza restaurant or wherever we are. I don't think that's necessary. And I also think regarding the door, if he's leading the way, he should open the door, because as a woman, even now, if you were coming in behind me into work, I would make sure the door was open for you, or you know, it's just politeness, but just to have a bit of manners, but he doesn't need to go too far.
Okay, and the big one, I suppose, is eating. Manners when you're eating. I mean, I have been out with people before, and you sort of look at them and think, really, why are you doing that?
Like eating out of a trough.
Well, yeah, that sort of thing. I mean, you can put somebody off by your manners at the table, can't you?
100%. Just chew with your mouth closed and quietly use the right cutlery. Nothing drives me more mental than someone who cannot chew with their mouth closed and keep their food in their mouth.
Yeah. So
just eat politely, be aware of what you're eating, use a knife and a fork.
And, use the right cutlery, I suppose, as well. It's tricky, though, isn't it, don't you think? In a way, you've got to get these... Because a little thing, particularly when you're first meeting somebody, the smallest thing can actually put you off, can't it?
Oh, definitely.
Like chewing gum.
Chewing gum, chewing badly, not hugging me. There's just a whole list. But really, I think manners are central to a person's personality. And I think it also shows how you've been brought up. So if you've got good manners, it normally shows that you've got quite a good background and good upbringing. And I think a lot of women like to see that. But I also think that you need to give someone a chance. They might be a little bit nervous, just bear that in mind. But when you're going on a first date, even I do this, I make sure I'm dressed well, I smell good, and my manners are on point.
On point?
Yes.
Nice term. And obviously it goes without saying, sort of, not swearing, not cussing and hussing and all that sort of stuff. But also, one thing I'm guilty of in a way is jumping in on people's conversations. Now, whether that's because I'm a journalist and that's my sort of background, but sometimes people will be saying something and I'll butt in. Now, that in a way, I look at it, is discourteous, isn't it?
I do that too. I just thought about it, and I do that all the time. I'm terrible for that. I just think while people are going on, I like to have a bit of a chat too, but obviously give people a little bit of room to speak. That can be seen as rude, but actually I don't see it as rude. I quite like it when people get involved because I do it myself.
Yeah.
But you know, I do think that there needs to be a point when you can give people space to just breathe and have a chat.
Yeah.
But I also think that it's so important not to do what I sometimes do and go on dates, get really drunk and then forget my manners. So I think drink alcohol wisely.
Yeah, exactly. But just recapping on all this, so you know, if you've got a nice guy and he's sort of, you know, he's okay, you're sort of quite interested, but if his manners are there, if he's got respect and he's courteous, that adds another layer to him. In your point of view?
100%. I love people with lovely manners, and it always adds a really nice layer to the person, because you want to be in a relationship with someone who you know there's going to be mutual respect. And as soon as you meet someone who's a little bit off the wall, a little bit rude, you know it's only going to go downhill from there.
Perfect.
The Dating Show, brought to you by olderdatingonline.com.